I've never said that publicly.
OneFaith. That's what.
I've never said that publicly.
Wow.
The enemy lied to me for years to tell me I was a failure when we closed our church.
I don't know if you've seen it, but I know at the end of 2025, there's like so many pastors that posted, I'm shutting down my church.
Yeah.
They know that this is what God's called them to do, but it didn't get to where they felt it should have been.
Yeah.
How would you encourage them?
You're not a failure till you quit. If you stay in it, if you stay obedient, then you didn't fail.
Mm-hmm.
You're just learning. Didn't have godly men in my life.
Yeah.
So I didn't know what it meant to be a man of God. I was trying to figure out how to be a man. God wanted me to be a man of God, and it was totally different. Everybody else was chosen to be parents except us.
Yeah.
We felt like we were not good enough for that. So that created a lot of animosity in our spiritual relationship with the Lord. My faith was impacted. My wife's anger with the Lord was real. I cannot say that there was a prophet. I can't say there was an altar call, there was a sermon, there was a moment in church. None of that helped. What helped was going to the Word. Very well, God could be using you to be the solution.
Yeah, he could.
If he used you to see the problem, he can use you to be the solution.
That's good.
Because nobody else saw the problem.
Yeah.
We saw problems that was happening within the church. And the Lord said, are you going to be like everybody else? And are you going to see bleeding and walk away? Or are you going to put pressure on the woman? I have a dream I haven't shared with anybody. This is the second thing that I've not shared on OneFaith that I haven't shared with anybody.
This week on OneFaith, we are here with a great friend of mine. Honestly, if it wasn't for you and your wife, we would not know anything about Focus Church. Or honestly, I can say that y'all are kind of like a very pivotal and instrumental piece of our story of redemption and hope and restoration, like trusting pastors, trusting leaders, all of that. And I say that because, like, when we left our last church coming out of that season, we were broken, we were hurt, but at the same time, we knew what God was telling us to do. And it's just so ironic that your wife was working with my wife's aunt. And so at the time, instead of my wife, I had treated her to a kind of like a push gift, you know? And so I had treated her to like a full day just to, you know, get her hair done, go to the spa, all that stuff for her and her sister. And she didn't know I was buying her a car too. I bought her a car that day, so we're not flexing like that. I'm just saying.
Come on now.
But, you know, thank God we still got that car. But it was and honestly, we were kind of in transition. We hadn't moved back home to Raleigh yet.
Okay.
But we were still in Charlotte, and so we just came up for that. And your wife was telling your wife was telling my wife. I was about to say your wife was telling my mom. There's no way your wife would be talking to my mom. But your wife was telling my wife about the church that y'all go to. Yeah. And when we had moved back, we were looking for churches in the area because we knew we weren't going back to our old church. And we was like, well, we know that the vision that God gave us was to, you know, be a part of multicultural movement, be a part of a church that values all cultures and also values people. And I looked at the thing about the Raleigh-Durham area is that there's not a lot of like diverse churches like that. And so, especially for what we were looking for, I looked on Google, YouTube, started looking at different sermons and different church services. I was like, I cannot connect with this.
It's hard finding this that's good.
Right.
That's good.
That's like really good. Worship, like all of it. And so we I actually started looking at Focus on online, just kind of stalking the YouTube channel, you know, saw the worship. It was like, all right, it's decent, it's good, it's good enough. Because, I mean, I know ain't nobody up here, you know, putting out records like an Elevation chart. Yeah. But I'm like, you know, it's really good. Started listening to the sermon Pastor Mike preach, and I was like, okay, sermon is actually pretty decent, pretty good.
You had Chris McCray then, too.
Yeah, you did, yeah. Whew. Yeah, it was, worship was top tier. And And it was funny because when what actually led me to make that decision was, like I said, y'all were the I would say the catalyst because y'all introduced us to it. But what really just took me there was the sermon that I was stalking everybody's Instagram page, stalked y'all. I was looking for your page by yourself, but you and your wife got a page together. And I was like, So I was like, so I can't connect with him.
I've been telling her it's time, babe. I was like, it's time. We did that in the season of our life where we was like, we don't want we didn't want any other friends. We was just like, there was just no point of managing two. But man, it's like so many people want to connect with me now by myself. And so I'm trying to get it a split.
You trying to get that? You're trying to get it to split out.
I don't know why she makes it feel like it's divorce. It's like, come on now, it's Facebook. It's not divorce.
We've been doing it like this for so long.
Why you want to change it? I'm like, I'm not trying to out here DM people. Just people trying to DM me.
Right, people trying to look like
I'm trying to help out. I'm trying to help the world.
Trying to counsel. I'm trying to pastor.
Yeah, man. But these guys ain't reaching out because they see your name.
Evette. Why your name is Evette?
Come on now, you out here messing it up.
But like I stalked everybody's page and I saw Pastor Mike, he had posted something and it was an old sermon and he was just like, we're not going to be the black church or the white church or the Hispanic church or this church or whatever on the corner. We're going to be God's church. And like that is what drew me because I was like, he's speaking my language. Went to church that first Sunday. It was great. We saw you all, got connected with you all, and honestly, we hadn't been to another church since. So. And that was 4 years ago. So my guest today is none other than Pastor Ed Clemens. He is a phenomenal man of God. Like I said, man, I really admire and appreciate you as a pastor, as a leader, someone that I can always, go to for wisdom, guidance, clarity on a lot of things because you was there.
We've been
going through some stuff.
We've been through a lot, bro. Bro, 4 years.
4 years.
Bro, I tell you, ministry will take you through the ringer, dude. But you need brothers and sisters in the midst of it, people that you connect with. And so, yeah, we've been through a lot, bro.
Through it. And, you praying over me, covering me in a lot of different ways. I really appreciate you. So, this is my guest. So, I'm excited. We got a good one one with us today. One of the reasons to have you on here is to talk and help you promote, Chozen brand. For anyone that ever watches the podcast, usually I have the hat in my background, somewhere. I have some Chozen somewhere, somewhere because I try to help, promote and put out things that people do, try to help, in that way. So that's the whole purpose for this episode. But also I want to, try to help the people to get to know you, your story, get to know who is Ed Clemens and how did you get to Chozen? How did you get to all of these things? So without further ado, I'm going to turn it over to the Right Reverend himself.
Thank you, Bishop. Appreciate you, Rev. You're a Rev too. We both in this thing together.
Right.
But man, like you and your wife and your family are also instrumental in our lives as well, because me and my wife have been doing ministry going on 20 years now. And so we've been able to see so many different kinds of people in ministry, callings, anointings. We've been able to see, people's gifting, how they gravitate to certain things. What I love about your wife and I, man, is that no matter what, you love the word of God.
Yeah.
Man, the word of God is so rich in your life and your heart, in your marriage. And like, you don't lead without the word of God. You don't speak without the word of God. Decisions are not made without the word of God. Like one thing people will always know about TJ McKnight, the bishop and Right Reverend himself too, is that the word is so rich, man. And you just can't find that a lot in the generation of men.
Yeah.
Because men try to take the authority of their own life instead of the word having the authority over their life. But man, you're a man of God where the word has authority over your life. You submit to it. You gravitate to it. You love it. You got a relationship with the word.
Yeah.
And so many people don't, and then not just people, but so many men don't have a relationship with the word of God. But when you find a man of God that has a relationship with the word, that has such a gravity, towards the word of God, man, those are men that you're sharpened by, you hold on to, And I think the Lord has connected me with men because I love the word.
Yeah.
Like, I love the Bible. I love that when I get to the word of God, it's not like stepping into a river, waiting for a wave. Mm-hmm. It's like now I grab my surfboard and I ride waves. Yeah. You know, like when you get to that level of like connectivity with the word, it's like it always takes you somewhere. Yeah. And I've always admired that about your wife and yourself and just you guys are fun to be around. Come on, man. So many people are just not fun. I mean, they're not. You are fun to be around. You are always laughing, always having a good time. Following you on social media is actually a joy of my life. When you start getting into your joking phase, bro. Some of the things you drop.
It's so many things I be trying to drop, but my wife be like, "Take that down."
Yeah, man. No, like, leave it up. Leave it up.
She be like, "Don't post all that stuff all the time. You need to calm down. You got to remember who you are." I'm like,
nothing's not even offensive. It's just funny. It's some guys' jokes are just offensive. It's like, just get off. Yeah. Right? But you're like, bro, just stay right there, bro. You be having us rolling, man.
I be trying. I really do try to lighten the load. Yeah. We be saying each other stuff all the time. It's like, it's fun though. I have a weird, dark sense of humor. So I mean, and that's honest. That is true. Like that stuff I send to everybody, but at the same time, I try to keep it light. Yeah. My wife know how. I go.
But man, it is a joy to be on the podcast, dude. It's a joy to see my boy T behind the scenes. It's a joy to be able to do this right here in our own home. We set this up as a space for the Lord. Yeah, this space right here, and so
this is a great background.
Yeah, man, we've always wanted it just to have a spot in the house where we can go to, but we didn't want it secluded. So we wanted to be able to have a space where our children can see us pray, can see us read the Bible. Mm-hmm. I got inspired by an older preacher who said that, he said he chose the dining room table as his spot for the Lord. Why? Because his family eats at the dining room table. Yeah. So when they go and whenever there was a meal, whenever somebody wanted to eat breakfast or whatever, and it was his, time with the Lord, they saw Dad in the Word. They saw Dad with the Lord. Yeah. And so I didn't want a closet or anything hidden. Like, we wanted just an open space. And so this space was inspired by that, man. And so now to be here with OneFaith is huge in this spot. So, but yeah, man, it's been
you got it right for us. It's like, we could just.
It's been waiting for you for 3 years. Right. It's been 3 years.
It's been 3 years.
We've been in 3 years in this house.
Gosh, and so time is flying.
3 years. Yeah, dude. This house has been a huge blessing from the Lord, and so it's been a joy to be a part of. But yeah, man, me and my wife been in ministry going on almost 20 years now. Wow. I know I don't look it. Come on now.
You don't?
I tell people I got that Eddie Murphy anointing. Right. Eddie Murphy still look good.
Still look good for his age.
Still look good. And so we've been in ministry going on 20 years now. We've been married 18. We've been together going on 22. And so we're originally from Miami, Florida, born and raised from the Miami-Dade. And so we actually live so close to each other that we didn't even know, and that we grew up in the same neighborhood. We both grew up in Liberty City. Didn't even know that my dad's house was by her grandmother's house. Wow. And so we were always kind of in the same area, never ran into each other. That's like, we were probably elementary. Yeah. We went to the same middle school, didn't even know it in sixth grade. That's crazy. Didn't even know. I went to Madison, and she didn't even know that I was there. I didn't know she was there. We didn't meet officially until the 11th grade in high school. Wow. Because I had moved to Miami Gardens. She moved to Miami Gardens. And then we stayed about 10, 15 minutes away from each other. Wow. And so we met in high school. I always have my own story of how we met. And so she has her version, I have my version. But my version is, because she shouldn't have told me, right. But my version is that she had caught eye of your boy before he caught eye of her. You know what I'm saying?
Talk about it.
Yeah, this was 10th grade. Now, mind you, we officially met 11th grade. She hadn't already knew me and seen me since 10th grade. So in my mind, I'm like, you stalking your boy. She knew who I was like going after at the time. She knew the girl name. She'll tell you all day. She's like, no, I just didn't like, you was a bugaboo, how you was all over her. And I'm like, well, why you watching? Though?
Why you watching?
Like, why you watching?
She was waiting for her turn. That's what it was.
But man, the moment I saw her, that's when it all clicked for me, bro. Like I had already had my future mapped out. Yeah. The moment I saw her, I was like, I knew at that point. And so we had started dating in the 11th grade, been together with high school sweethearts, made it out of Carol City Senior High, and man, went to college together. I grew up not really knowing the Lord. Like I grew up with a family that we went to church, but I didn't know anything about the gospel. Never opened up the Bible. Really didn't know who Jesus was. Fell asleep in the back of the pews. And so didn't really I was always there. It was a missionary Baptist church, so I was always there. But my grandmother was the matriarch, right? So she was pulling everybody in to church. But at that point, I really didn't have any relationship. So when grandma passed away, I had no anchor, I had no root system. Not our entire family didn't. Yeah. So we all stopped going. Met Evette in high school. Mom, family, total difference, right? Totally on the different side of the spectrum. In love with the Lord, always still at church, living it outside the church, inside the church. And so in order to date her, I had to go to church. And so that's why I gave my life to the Lord at that church. It was a Pentecostal church. So now, mind you, I'm going from missionary Baptist to Pentecostal, totally different dynamic.
But I was chasing
Evette, but I had no clue of what even denominations were, different styles of worship. And so it was such a radical shift for me. And I tell this joke all the time. I was like, I didn't even know they was Pentecostal. They showed me that they were Pentecostal by the way they ran around the church, the way they spoke in tongues. And at the time, I was so against it, right? I was I just didn't think it took all of that at all because of where I came from. And then, man, I just let go and ended up really giving my life to the Lord in that Pentecostal church in Miami Gardens. And so, man, we go on to college together, start doing ministry, have a rough patch in college. We break up for about 5 months, which is a long time.
It is a long time.
Come on, coming from high school.
It's a long time.
You off and on every 3 days, but 5 months?
That's a long time.
That's a long time.
That's almost a half a year.
That's like a millennium. Yeah. That's a long time. And so the Lord kept us. She had an encounter with the Lord personally. I was filled with the Holy Spirit during that break.
Okay.
Because I really have been praying for God to help me be a biblical man, not just a man. Because again, didn't have godly men in my life. Yeah. So I didn't know what it meant to be a man of God. I was trying to figure out how to be a man. God wanted me to be a man of God. And it was totally different. Totally different spectrums, totally different character and outlook on life. And so I was like, well, I need your help because I had no guidance, no support, no understanding of what that was. And so I just started praying, man, for the Holy Spirit. So I got filled with the Holy Spirit during the break. And then she rededicated her life to the Lord during the break. And then when we got back together, we got married.
Wow.
And so it was 6 months after we got back together.
Wow. Yeah, you said we ain't playing games.
Yeah, we was we're not playing the games. And so, yeah, man, and ever since then, dude, we just been on this journey to just give our all to Jesus, building his kingdom. It's a value system for us. Yeah. It's our house, our lifestyle, everything is surrounded around building the kingdom. We want to raise children that build the kingdom. Yeah. It's not like a box we check off. We're not compartmentalizing this thing. It's an internal devotion to the Lord. And so the Lord just continued to put us in ministry and spaces and places with people. And we got an affinity, such a strong affinity for discipleship. Yeah. Yeah, and so we just started gravitating to people and falling in love with people. And my wife wasn't a people person like that. Now you can't even tell, right? I'm telling you, man, who she was in high school, she was not a people person. And now people
no new friends.
no new friends. Now people gravitate to her. Yeah. And so it's just been amazing to see that whole journey. But we've been in ministry that long, and we've seen God doing incredible work in our life.
Wow. That's amazing. So how did y'all get to North Carolina?
Yeah, so we actually, it's a crazy testimony, it's a crazy story. Graduating from pharmacy school, got my doctoral degree in pharmacy. Okay. So I'm a doctor of pharmacy. Doctor. And
sorry, I didn't mean to disrespect you earlier. Doctor, Reverend Doctor.
Come on, stop that. And so, but got my doctoral degree, and she got her cosmetology license. And so she was working in the salon, always had dreams of starting her own salon. And so she was in pharmacy school too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she started out in pharmacy school and then realized she was like, it's boring. And I was like, I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. And she's a creative, right? Yeah. So she's like free spirited. She don't want to work for the man. She don't want to do any of that. She want to create her own hours and time. Me, I'm more like, no, I need somebody time clock to be on. Like, I need a regular paycheck.
You need structure.
I need structure. I need an HR department.
Right. I need
I need that. And so, but she's the total opposite of that. And so when we graduated, everything was going great, man. We were on our church plant with our pastor, Derek McGee. Shout out to my guy. He taught us so much. Still a mentor, pastor of the day. He texts us all the time. And but he started a church, Bible-based church. And this was a church plant, a legit church plant. When I say we had one microphone, one stand, we had 5 singers, and we had a boom box. And we had church, bro. We had church for weeks, I think months, until this thing started to take off. Moving locations, and so we just grew, like our grit in ministry grew in that season. Like if we can encounter the presence of the Lord in that environment, like we can encounter the presence in anywhere. And so everything was going great. This is probably like the 5th or 6th year into Bible-based church. We graduate from college, and then we have a revival. And so this is his first time throwing a revival, Derek McGee. And so this revival is supposed to be 3 days. It goes on to about 6 or 7 days. Oh, wow. So it just keeps going. Going. The people just saying, we got to come back tomorrow. The revivalists say he's got to come back tomorrow, and pastor just green lighting it every night. He's just green lighting. He's like, let's do it.
Let's do it.
And so we're supposed to leave to North Carolina during that week, right after the revival. I got a job at WigMed, at the pharmacy, at the local hospital there in Cary. I got a job. So I landed that job. We was ready to move. There was no reason for us to move. We just knew the Lord had called us to be somewhere different. We prayed. Everyone we talked to in Raleigh, not Raleigh, but in Tallahassee, were saying Raleigh, North Carolina. Wow. We were like, where would you go? Like, if you had an opportunity to move somewhere, where would you go? I'll go to Raleigh. Like, wow. I'm not kidding. Wow. Probably 50 people.
That's crazy.
From students to people we worked with to people in church. Somebody had a cousin up here. Somebody had an aunt up here. And they always had the same pitch: 2 hours from the mountains, 2 hours from the beach. Yep. It was like, it's growing, but it ain't growing too fast. And it was like, it's just perfect. So we started looking into it. I landed the job here. And in the middle of the revival, we were like, Lord, why are we leaving Tallahassee and something that's so rich and so powerful? Yeah. I was baptized in the Spirit of God in order to speak in tongues during the revival. My calling was prophesied over me during the revival. Like, so much is happening during the revival. It's like, why are we leaving?
Why you get up and leave? Yeah.
And so that's how we knew that it had to be God, because there was no other reason to go. And so we ended up jumping into our U-Haul at the end of the revival. We was pulling our Toyota Camry, and everything was already loaded up. It had been loaded up for 3 days. Yeah. 3 days. We had been
just living out of U-Haul.
We just living out the U-Haul. 3 days already loaded up. Yeah. And so we just jumped in and we left. And ever since then, like, God's been just showing up in so many different ways. It was tough. It was difficult when we first got here. North Carolina is totally different.
It's a completely different place than Florida, right?
And so our swagger, was a lot here. It was totally different for us. And so for the people, the relationships was different. It was hard to build rich relationships at first. Yeah. So we just knew we had to get into a church, man. Yeah. And so that's what we started looking for.
Yeah. That's one thing I can say about this area. It's like, it's changed a little bit, but it is difficult to, like, get to know people unless you, like, get plugged into certain communities and churches, or a gym, or like different spaces where you can find people in different spaces and stuff like that. Unless you, like, in college, and then of course you can go out to different colleges or different bars and stuff and things like that to get to know different individuals. But this area is like, it's so, like, if you know somebody, chances are they know somebody. Chances are they know somebody. They know everybody, and then it's like you don't even realize how everybody's connected to each other until you get on Facebook, you say, we have a mutual friend.
Yeah.
How'd you know that?
1,000%.
We never been in the same circles. It's just like that. I don't know. It's just a different spirit out here that it's a different spirit. Like, it's just different because that's just how it's always been. But because like y'all's story is really similar to like me and my wife's, and I won't go into the full details because it's about you. But like it's very similar because we had moved to Fuquay in 2005, and ironically, where we were staying in Fuquay was about 15-20 minutes from where my wife was living, and it's considered Garner, but it's like Garner side of 42 on on 42 in Clayton, the Garner side of Clayton. They were staying over there, and we would actually sometimes take our trash to the little trash compactor that was right across the street from her house.
Okay.
And we never knew, like, because I had told her one time we were just riding around, showing her the house in Fuquay and showing her everything. And I was like, we used to come and take our trash here. She was like, I live right. And then we used to see her house all the time. Whoa. And my dad was like, I would love to have that house. I would love to stay in this neighborhood.
That's crazy.
That's
crazy.
And we never knew. Like, we was right down the street from each other. Like that whole entire time and didn't even know. And then, of course, we moved back to Durham, and then, we definitely didn't know each other then. But it was funny because when we came, when we actually met, I was going to Upper Room Church of God in Christ in Raleigh. She's from Upper Room. She's an Upper Room baby, born and bred.
Upper Room baby.
She is Kojic baby to the day.
Come on.
She was born in. Okay, she lived by that code. She was born in. You can't just join in. She was actually born in. I just joined in, but
you was jumped in,
right? I got jumped in, but So, and at the time, her sister was going to Central in Durham. I was going to Barton College, and so she would actually go to Durham.
Wow.
And I was going to Upper Room in Garner.
Wow.
And so we would like literally miss each other. Every week. Like, I would go to church every Sunday. She would go to Durham to go to her sister's church, Greater Joy in Durham, all the time. And so we would literally miss each other for like a whole year. Until we actually, she saw me at like a youth conference or something that we had going on, because I was there with a whole bunch of my friends, and when she saw me, she did the same thing. But she'll tell her story whenever she can, but she ain't
always got to
tell my version. But she saw me. She was like, "Yeah, I need that right there."
Come on, Dad.
So she was like, "I want that, God. Let me get that." So,
come on, Dad.
But I added a little bit to that. But her prayer was that she wanted somebody like me, who was in the church, love God and love His ways and everything like that. And so when she saw me, she added me on Facebook. And so when I saw her picture, I was like, "Oh, like, who is this?" I was like, she meeting the criteria. She checks off some of the boxes, and we had a lot of mutual friends that were going to Upper Room. And I was like, okay, maybe she's a part of the church. I didn't know she was a part of the church until we actually started talking. And she was like, "Yeah, I go to Upper Room." I was like, "I've never seen you at Upper Room. I've been at this church for a whole year. I've seen all these people. Never seen you."
She was just visiting her sister's church?
Yeah, she was just visiting her sister. Well, she would go stay with her sister on the weekends.
Gotcha.
And so that's how we would miss each other, because she would go stay with her sister on the weekends and go to church with her and all that stuff, and then come back and go to school as well, too. And so it was just weird. And I was like, how did we miss each other that whole time? And then ever since then, when we started talking, it was Murder, She Wrote. Like, we've been together since then. But so, all right. So you're in North Carolina. You started pharmacy, or started doing working at Wake Med and Carey.
Yep.
Was your wife doing hair at the time and stuff too, or?
Yeah. So that's how she got really plugged in, because you mentioned earlier, your wife's aunt. And so she didn't know your wife's aunt at the time, but what my wife was doing was she was going to help out salons.
Okay.
She was trying to build up her clientele before she started her own. And just the support, she just always had that heart to do that. That girl would go and work in salons for free. Like she would go and help out.
She just wanted to do.
And she wanted to do that for the experience. And I'm like, I'm not working at no one's spot for free, And so, but she would go and do that, and so that's what she was doing, just building up the clientele. And I was just starting at Wake Med, And so when we first got here.
Okay. And how long were y'all married during that time?
Yeah, so at that point we were probably like our 7th year. Oh, wow. 6th or 7th year.
Okay, 6th or 7th year. Y'all was in the deep.
We did 4 years in college, and then.
Oh, so y'all were married throughout college?
Yeah.
Wow.
We were married throughout college. It was a 7-year college journey. So we did 6-year journey. 2 of them we were just dating. The last 4 we were married.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you knew. You was like,
we got married at 20. We got married young. Yeah, we didn't wait.
Yeah.
Right after that break, we didn't wait.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I don't blame you. I told my wife we probably should have got married younger. We got married. I mean, we got married young. I was 23, but I told her we probably could have got married at 20, 21.
Yeah, it's a game changer.
But 100%.
Yeah.
So I know that you had a church and all that. So, and I know you and your wife were pastors of a church as well too. Church plant up here. Yeah. How did you get to planting a church in North Carolina?
So that story is we were so immature in our remember I told you we got grit from church planting, right? Mm-hmm. But what we didn't get is like loyalty to wherever God planted us when we left. We were so focused on every church needed to be like our church. We wanted a carbon copy of what we loved. Yeah. And so we were going in evaluating churches. Wow. Like we were grading them. It was just immaturity. Yeah. So we was grading the worship. We was grading the greeting. We was grading the sermons and dissecting the sermons and all of that. And so I think we bounced around probably 5 or 6 churches before we were like, all right, hold on now. It may not be the churches. Yeah. It might be us. And we were getting involved in these churches and then just up and up bouncing. Yeah. It's like, nah, we ran into something vexed us and we were just up and just bounced. Yeah. It was just so unhealthy, right? And so in that process, we were like, Lord, there has to be something for us to be a part of so we can give our life to, right? Yeah. Like, we don't want to keep church hopping. We want to be able to do something. We know you've called us to ministry. And at that point, remember at the revival, the prophet has already spoken that over me, that I was going to preach. I was going to pastor. And I was going to lead one day. And so I was like, not really ready for it, but I was more so like, when? When is that going to be? And so we was driving through Garner one day, North Carolina, and my wife said, do you feel that? We had crossed right over that railroad track by the Sheets and White Oak over by City Barbecue in that area. And so we felt it, she felt it, I felt it. And what we felt was like this yearning and this like depravity of spiritual vitality in that area. And so it was literally when we crossed that railroad track. And so from there, we just went into prayer for like 8 or 9 months, talked to our pastor, and we were like, is this it? Like, is this the moment for us to start and launch out? And so we did, and that's how we started our church. But didn't realize I'm a first generation pastor, right? So I don't have any clue on how to start a church. Right. I don't have any clue about the background, the business, the ability to really inspire people to be a part of it. And so, man, I thought I'm about to preach and that was it. And it's so much more than that. Yeah. So the church took off. It was Life of Worship Church. Church took off. It was about 101 people on launch day. Wow. And so it grew to about 150. Wow. And then that's when it started to get to the reality that I have to preach every Sunday. I have to build a team. You have to
prepare the sermon every Sunday.
And I didn't realize that people in North Carolina vacationed in the summer. Yes. The way that they do. Tallahassee, we didn't do that. Yeah. Oh, really? So, no, we were in church.
Well, for one, all the time. Tallahassee, Florida, Florida's a vacation state.
Exactly.
Anyway, and it's always hot.
Exactly.
Yeah. So it's different. Yeah.
Like, we just didn't, a lot of us didn't grow up with that mentality. Like, out of town for us was still in Florida, just Orlando, Florida. It was like, we're going out of town. It was like, oh, where you going? Orlando.
Okay. Oh, you right down the street.
Yeah, 3 hours in the same state.
Yeah.
So like, that's just how it was.
Mm-hmm.
So when we moved here, we had this thought process, like, when we planted that church, like, of course, people are always going to attend church. Once they start giving, that will always happen.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that first summer, attendance plummeted. People took their money with them to the beach.
To the beach on vacation. Yep.
And we were renting a movie theater at the time. Mm-hmm. And so the cost of that movie theater, they wanted their money.
Yeah.
And so I didn't have the money. So we were like, there's no way we're going to be able to sustain this, because we ended up using reserves to even get through the summer. Mm-hmm. And so it happened that way. So we ended up having to switch locations. In the midst of switching locations, trust was lost, all the things. Yeah. It dwindled, and all the things. And so we got really burnt out. And I rarely use that term because I've never felt that again. So I rarely use that term. Like you will not. That was the hardest season of my life, ministry wise. Pastoring a church that's dying. It's the hardest. It was the hardest thing I've ever done. Everything else we've done has not compared to that. Yeah. When you show up to church and you got to preach, and you got to lead the worship team, and no one is there to pull the trailer, and you have to unload the trailer, and then the sound guy doesn't show up on time, and you got to do the run through, and then there's only 2 singers because the other 4 or 3 just didn't show. Yeah. And then you got no kids ministry happening. When you got to do all of that and then clear your mind to preach a sermon, when I tell you that is tough. That's tough. Yeah. And I knew that was not God's best. When he spoke that, I knew that it wasn't that. When he told me my calling, it wasn't that. Yeah. And so we, I went to my board and I said, hey, I believe the Lord is calling me to sit down, to learn, and to grow, to be able to be effective in ministry one day again, to the level. The board didn't want to, and so we went another 6 months.
Was that a even worse 6 months?
It was horrible. Yeah, 6 months of that in that environment, and then the Lord spoke to my wife. And then that's when they shut down. The moment she was done, that was it. Yeah. And so I was like, okay, that's how it works. It's fine with me. Yeah. But I was like, I'm glad you spoke to somebody else.
Yeah, I'm glad you said something, Lord.
I'm glad you said something, Lord, because I'm still struggling. And so, man, we blessed everybody. We tried our best to find them a church and things of that nature. People really, really loved us. Church had dwindled down to like 20 people. So it was incredibly hard.
Yeah. So you had pastored first time ever. What were some of the lessons that you learned in that season? Yeah.
So, man, first of all, there's definitely there's wisdom in an abundance of counselors, and so we were alone. We were trying our best to connect to different, other pastors in the city and things of that nature, but
that's difficult.
A lot of them just didn't. They did not, like, it was great community, but they couldn't provide solutions. It was great community, but they couldn't provide me with solutions. The solution always boiled down to, we just got to stay obedient. We got to keep trusting God. Maybe do some advertisement, maybe change this, maybe do that. But it wasn't like a real concrete solution that changed the trajectory. Yeah. Right. And so, for us, that was a lesson that I learned, is like, I need to get around people who've been doing this for years. Yeah. And not just succeeding, but succeeding in the spirit. Like in like some spiritual warfare, like succeeding in spiritual warfare, like I wish we would have started weekly prayer services. Yeah. Like the power of that. Yeah. Right. Like you get so ingrained in Sunday morning that you don't forget Sunday morning is built off prayer. Yeah. Right. It's not built off the finances. It's not built off the preaching. Like it's built off prayer. And like I didn't have that. I didn't have that strong prayer life like I do now to build something significant for the Lord. And so that was a huge lesson that I learned there. A second lesson that I learned is that it takes, if you the enemy would either, if he can't slow you down, he'll speed you up. So if he can't slow you down, he'll speed you up. And that was a premature decision to plant that church.
Wow.
And I learned that.
So if you did it over, would you have waited, or would you have planted in a different season?
If I would have done it over, what I would have done is I would have submitted to leadership longer. I would have stayed under someone's covering longer. I believe in the power of covering. So many people forget that the significance in covenantal covering, it is so powerful. It is protection. It is not just a place of wisdom, but it's a place of protection.
Yeah.
And so for us, I felt like we were not just church hopping. We were rejecting covering. We were rejecting covering.
Was it hard to find covering in this area when you were starting out?
Yeah. When we first moved here, the churches was just different than what it was in Florida. The level of, our pastor, he was amazing, man. He loved the word, steward, faithful, consistent.
Yeah.
It was just hard finding that again.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. It's like, we learned in this journey that some men, we stayed with our pastor because he was being developed.
Yeah.
Right? We loved him in the midst of development.
Yeah.
Right? He wasn't perfect, but we submitted to we didn't just submit to his covering, we submitted to his development with the Lord.
Yeah.
We didn't want to submit to nobody else's development.
Yeah. That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
If you were in process with the Lord, you go be in process with the Lord by yourself.
Yeah.
Because my love for you wasn't that deep.
Yeah.
The relational equity wasn't there for me to submit to your process. And then, and then I realized that the same people did the same thing to me when we planted our church.
Wow.
They didn't stay long enough to watch the Lord develop me.
Wow.
And watch what the Lord wanted to do in me and my wife.
Yeah.
And so we learned that the same thing we were doing with pastors, people ended up doing us.
Wow.
And that birthed out of us this faithfulness and loyalty to covering.
Yeah.
And so we've been with our church now going on 9 years.
Wow.
And when we found Focus Church, the Lord said, be to Pastor Mike Santiago what you did not have when you planted your church.
Wow.
And so we've been through, like you said, we've been through the ringer.
I've been through a lot.
But every time I'm always reminded that I'm not going to throw away my covering.
Yeah.
Until the Lord provides another covering, I'm not going to throw away my covering. I'm not going to let emotions, offense.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let hard seasons of ministry to throw away my covering. God has placed us under a good covering, a great covering. And so that was a big lesson learned for me.
If you found us on TikTok, welcome. If you found us on Instagram, welcome. If you found us on Facebook or even here on YouTube, thank you. If you haven't done this yet, and you know what I'm about to say, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Follow us on all social media platforms at We Are OneFaith on all social media platforms. When you subscribe to this channel, this YouTube channel, you'll get access to all of our content. Also, you can listen to us on your favorite podcast streaming platforms on all platforms where you want to listen to your podcast. I don't know. But if you want to listen to your podcast on Amazon, you can find us on Amazon. All you have to do is search OneFaith Podcast and you'll find us there. With your support, we are able to spread the gospel. With your generosity, just playing. With your support, we are able to make sure that our content reaches the people that it needs the most. And if you've been blessed by what we've been doing with OneFaith, I just want to encourage you to share it with somebody else. The more people you share it with, the more it helps us to spread the gospel and also to make sure that we reach that person. So thank you for watching. Let's jump back into the conversation.
I don't know if you've seen it, but I know at the end of 2025, I saw literally December 31st on 2025, New Year's Eve. It was so many pastors that had posted, I'm shutting down my church.
Yep.
I'm doing this. I'm transitioning. I'm stepping away. I'm doing these things. And that's one reason why that kind of prompted that question, because I saw that it was so many different ones. It was I'm transitioning to a new season, shutting this down and blah, blah, blah. And I was something I know something shifted in the spirit, but it was just to see that many churches, that many pastors, that many leaders. I don't want to say submit to that, but give to. I don't even want to call it failure. They just accepting that this is a new season. You know, how would you encourage them in that particular way? Because I feel like some pastors probably feel like a failure. Like they went through that entire thing. They know that this is what God's called them to do. They know that God placed this burden on their heart, but it didn't get to where they felt it should have been.
Yeah.
You know, how would you encourage a pastor or someone that's dealing with that?
You're not a failure till you quit. If you stay in it, if you stay obedient, then you didn't fail. You're just learning. You're just adjusting, adapting. You're not failing. I don't believe that. The enemy lied to me for years to tell me I was a failure when we closed our church. And I carried that. And what it produced in me is this desire for perfection. And it also produced in me this desire to never experience that again. And so it produced this like performance at this point. You know, I loved what God was doing in me, but I also didn't want to fail. I didn't want to go through that again. And so for me, I was like, well, we need to succeed in this. We got to succeed in this. We got to do this. We got to make this happen. And what you do is you put things on the altar. You do that. You put family on the altar when you do that. You put your mental health on the altar when you do that. You know, you begin to prioritize never going back to that again. And you don't realize the enemy just has your memory in a chokehold. And he's trying to hold you to that feeling and that emotion of what that was. But if you just realize that the only way I'm a failure is if I quit. Because in Ecclesiastes 3, there is actually no season for quitting. There's a season for everything. Rejoicing, mourning. There's a season to plant. There's a season to harvest. There's a season to rejoice. There's never a season to quit. It's never a season to quit. And so if the enemy can convince you to quit, then therefore, yes, that was a failure decision. But you're not the failure. I would encourage people, man, to other pastors to really count the cost of closing the doors. Like count the cost of closing the doors. I really wish to see the amount of people who still right now, after we close Life of Worship, still don't have a covering.
Yeah.
That hurts.
It hurts. It hurts. I can feel that, you know, as a pastor, as a leader, but I can feel that from you, like that hurts, like because those are people that you walk with in that season, and you labored, prayed for, them, shepherded, and it's like to still see, you know, does that make you feel like? And I know the answer to this is, but I'm just going to ask you.
Yeah.
But does that make you feel like your labor was in vain?
It does. It does sometimes. Makes me feel like what we didn't matter. But then on the other side, if it didn't matter, the people would have recovered quicker. But they didn't. So it actually mattered way more than I thought it did. Yeah, it mattered way more than I thought it did. And so, yeah, it could have been some things we could have done differently, you know, but we had just got so tired. And physically and mentally and emotionally just really, like I said, just exhausted. And I've never felt that again. And we've been through some stuff. When I tell you, there's nothing like that feeling I felt when I was sitting behind a soundboard.
Wow.
Running a rehearsal, a run through, knowing that I had to preach that Sunday, knowing I had just loaded up all the equipment out of my garage into the trailer with two guys who were supposed to show up and help me, and they did not. And driving it all the way to the spot, unloading it myself. Like, bro. Yeah. I've never felt that. The amount of people that still walked away, you know, talked about, you know, us, betrayed us. It was crazy. But, you know, I really believe that if I would have had the experience, and if I would have submitted to the right covering, a lot of that would have been avoided. But at the same time, look how much I've learned.
Yeah.
My faithfulness and my loyalty now.
Yeah.
My ability to stay in it and not quit.
Yeah.
When everybody else wants to go, when everybody else wants to jump ship.
Yeah.
You know, it's like me and my wife's grit.
Yeah.
You know, Chozen was birthed because of that. Chozen probably wouldn't have been here because my son wouldn't have been here. You know, my son wouldn't have been here.
Yeah.
This season where we are, being under this covering, has produced so much more than what any season has taken from us.
Yeah. And I believe that, you know, for everyone, like, you don't realize, like, the seasons and the things that you go through.
Yeah.
It produces, out of your pain, it produces something beautiful.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean, we'll get into, you know, some more deeper stuff. As long as you want to.
That's what I want to do. That's what I'm waiting on.
Right? We'll get into more deeper stuff. But I'm kind of like going this way because, for one, I know different ones have never heard that. You know, never heard that or seen that side of you in that way, especially different ones who, you know, been to the church and go to the church and been there all that for so long.
Very true.
And also I think it helps for people to see the real in that. You get what I'm saying?
For sure.
Because, like, a lot of people don't understand or realize, like, all the stuff that pastors deal with and go through.
Yeah.
And because I was reading a post on Threads, and this girl is like, I can't stand when people, like, you know, throw stones and then hide their hand. Like,
come on, isn't that crazy?
It's like you don't understand what people are going through. Yeah. And so, because she was like, I believe pastors shouldn't be paid, should never get a salary, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Yeah. It's like, would you go to your job and show up, not expecting to get paid? Yeah. Like, there's so much that pastors do. There's so much that pastors take on. Yeah. That, yes, they deserve some type of salary. Like, I ain't saying they got to get millions and millions of dollars, but I'm just saying, like, you should be compensated for what you do, especially as a leader, as a pastor, as a shepherd, because not only, as you just laid out, you are breaking up, setting up, tearing down stuff. You are in charge of that entire thing. Still have to preach a sermon, still have to counsel and minister to people while you're going through your own crap, which is tough. Yeah, dude. Like, and not only that, but you also have to still not lose your mind, lose your marriage if you're married, lose the respect of your kids, you know, all of these things, because it's like you're kind of like holding or juggling all of these pieces together. And you know, it's just at any moment, if one drops, all of them gonna drop. Trust me. And that's why I say, like, you know, especially a pastor that's worthy of his call and worthy of his anointing, like, definitely take care of your pastor. Definitely take care of your leaders, because they are juggling so much stuff that you don't even know on the other side what they're dealing with. Yeah. You see them on Sunday mornings and they just show up and they're smiling, they're happy, and they're loving and all that stuff, but you don't know what they're really dealing with on the inside. And when I say on the inside, I'm talking about like up here.
The warfare is that was another lesson I learned. It's the level of warfare. Yeah. Stepping into that office, stepping into that call, it's the level of warfare that comes. And we were not prepared for that level of warfare. Yeah. We were not. We were not prepared. Yeah. We're prepared way more now than we ever were. But we were not prepared for the level of fight it was going to take to not just keep going, but to keep believing. Like, the level of faith to believe that you're actually called. Yeah. That's warfare.
Yeah, that is warfare.
You know, just to because what people they don't just quit on churches, organizations, ministries. They don't just quit on people. They quit on their calling. Yeah. It's like, that's really a lot of times what it boils down to. It's like, I really don't believe that this is what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. I thought I heard God, but it shouldn't feel this way.
Yeah. Oh God.
It shouldn't feel this way. It shouldn't be this way. People should just gravitate towards me. Why do I got so much resistance? And they don't realize that that's part of it, right? Like we're called to share in the sufferings of Christ. And if Christ, our Savior, suffers so much with the greatest call to save humanity, then what would make us think that this thing would be easy?
Yeah.
And I think that's what it is. It's like I stopped believing. I had stopped believing to the point where I was like, that's not me.
Yeah.
Clearly, I don't have the chops. Clearly, I don't have what it takes.
Right,
you
clearly.
picked the wrong guy.
Yeah.
You chose the wrong guy. I shouldn't have said yes. But I did.
Yeah.
And I think that a lot of times that's what people wrestle with. And when they reject seasons and walk away from it, they're throwing away the calling. They're saying, no, I'm not here to change that. But you could very well, God could be using you to be the solution.
Yeah, he could.
If he used you to see the problem, he can use you to be the solution.
That's good.
Because nobody else saw the problem.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That happened to me in 2020. We saw problems that was happening within the church. And the Lord said, are you going to be like everybody else? And are you going to see bleeding and walk away? Or are you going to put pressure on the wound?
Wow.
And we stayed and put pressure on wounds with friends in our life, people in our life. And we realized, wait a minute. We see problems.
Yeah.
Therefore, we also have the capacity to be the solution.
Yeah.
Because so many other people didn't see the problem in the spirit. And so that was a big deal for us.
Yeah. Yeah. So going from there, from the season of having to shut down your church, how did you get to focus? I know the story, but you know.
Yeah, man. Me and Pastor Mike, we had, rubbed shoulders during that church planting season with other pastors in the city. And so my wife was a part of the wives portion of that. And then we were a part of the husbands. Pastor Mike he was already growing significantly as a church. And so a lot of the things we were doing in the space, he's a visionary. He's a go-getter. He's a guy of grit. He don't want to come and sit here and sob. And so for him, he was already like checked out. And so I was like, man, this is a cool guy. And I really wanted to connect with him more. And so that's what I did. And so we came apart. We was like checked out Focus Church a few times in that process. And so I invited him out to speak to my team. And at the time, I thought this would be, just a great, like he's way ahead of us. First, pastor that I met who's been that far ahead and who's doing that good, fourth generation pastor. And so he sat down, did an incredible talk to the team, spoke about how Jesus wants you to go and untie the donkey. And that's your job. It's to untie the donkey. And you don't realize by you untying the donkey, the King of Kings will be able to walk into every space.
Wow.
He'll be able to triumphantly enter into every space. But somebody got to untie the donkey. He said, you planting this church, you're untying the donkey. It was so rich, dude. It was so, I still remember it. So I go in after the talk, I go and sit in the car with him and I'm like, man, that was so good. That was so great. And you did a phenomenal job. And he sits there and he says, you know what, man? He said, if this thing don't work out, he says, I want you to know you got a job with me. And I was so offended.
You saw my failure? What are you talking about?
I was so offended. I was like, why would you say that? You just spoke so much life.
Right.
Why would you call me a failure?
Right.
Why would you not believe in us?
Right.
Man, I blocked him, I think. I didn't talk to him. I didn't invite him back. I was like, man,
block
this guy, And so I promise you, I think we barely talked. We barely talked after that. We probably went to one thing there, recording of that album. And by that time, I had already knew a lot of people at the church. And so when we closed our church for 6 months, we didn't go anywhere at all. But again, that's not us. So we knew we had to go somewhere, and the Lord put Focus Church in our heart.
Wow.
And I said, let's go. Wife was resistant. She was like, I don't want to go anywhere. Don't want to go there. and we did. And the Lord, we've been here ever since.
Wow. Yeah. So a lot of people don't know y'all were, so y'all been at Focus for, you said how long?
9
years. Good Lord. So in 2020, right before COVID hit, y'all was actually about to launch the city campus, right?
Yeah. You remember that? Oh,
I wasn't there, but I remember hearing about it.
Oh man, city campus was next level.
Yeah. So,
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Totally killed it. But how did that come about? Like the city campus and all that.
That literally was Pastor Mike went to coffee with somebody at this random coffee shop, but it was a beautiful coffee shop. And they had a space in the back of the coffee shop that literally was just an empty space.
Wow.
And he said, this would be great to put a campus.
Wow.
It was like a coffee shop with a flex space in the back.
Yeah.
You probably can fit, I think the max capacity was like 80 or 90 people. He was like, that is great. You can run multiple services. The only challenge was it didn't have a space for kids ministry. And so he did it anyway. And came to me and said, hey, would you be the campus pastor? We made the announcement to the church and everything. Had so many people backing it. I don't know if you remember this. We had so many people backing it. So we ended up doing a night of worship. We put a night of worship on the books. People was outside the door. Wow. That's how many people showed up. Wow. It was about 150 to 200 people showed up.
Wow.
And so we overwhelmed them. And so they were already like, this is too much.
This is too much, yeah.
And then we were like, we're doing it anyway. And we were just convincing them to do this. They finally said, yeah, let's do it again. We're going to stay with this. And then COVID hit. And literally, it died. The moment it took off, it died so fast. COVID hit probably 3 weeks after that night of worship. We were on our way to do something else. It was going to be big. And COVID hit and it was hard to even get people out the house and it just tanked. And so we made the decision to close the campus.
Yeah.
Before it even started. Yeah. So it was my second time.
But this time you're undercovering.
This time I was undercovering, praise God.
Right. This time you're undercovering. And now I know some of you and your wife's story, like in your personal journey. But during this time, what were some of the things that you guys were dealing with that led to, kind of pivot into the Chozen story a little bit, but what are some of the things that you guys were dealing with during these times of like pastoring, shepherding, also, starting churches, closing churches, but at the same time, still pressing forward through what God has called you to do? Because, you have a heart, you want to have kids, you want to fathers, you want to be a mother and all these things. What are some of those things that you guys were dealing with?
Yeah, so privately, our marriage was weak when we first started. We started off weak. I don't think we both had great examples of what it meant to have a kingdom marriage. And so it started off very weak. I abandoned my wife emotionally probably for the first 4 years of our marriage to pursue pharmacy and pursue that. And so in that process of those first 4 years, we had a miscarriage. And so I wasn't there for her emotionally during the miscarriage. Didn't know how to be. And so it was one of the greatest regrets in my life. And so we continue on, through that. We had another pregnancy, and then that baby, we had a miscarriage as well. So that's 2 miscarriages. The challenge is the 2 miscarriages. One was early on in the marriage, and the second one was like 7 years later. So we had a span of 7 years where it was no pregnancy at all. Wow. It couldn't work. It wasn't happening. And so all of that to say, we ended up just really, really feeling like, okay, she felt broken, didn't want to say it. I felt like, okay, we were not trusting God by choosing other options. So we were very on 2 separate pages about what to do. And so I felt like, man, we really should pursue other options. Maybe the Lord is causing us to knock on other doors. And she really wanted natural birth. She felt like the Lord, that's what the Lord said to her. And so in that process, we were on 2 different pages. And then what we did was the moment we both came in agreement, that's when the Lord started to move. And I just believe in that, walking in agreement in marriage. And so once we came into agreement that we will wait for 3 years, see if it happens naturally. If it doesn't happen naturally, we would choose adoption. And it didn't happen naturally. We chose adoption. The moment we went through the door of adoption, 6 months later, our son was born.
Wow.
So from 15 years, the total time frame was 15 years of infertility. The moment we walked in agreement together, not just a moment we walked in agreement as the head of the house with what the Lord was saying or what she wanted the Lord, like the moment we both said together, we're going to knock on this door together, the door opened.
Wow.
And we saw an accelerated blessing.
Yeah.
And again, I believe that's why the power of covering is so significant, because the church that we were at, now still at, the amount of people that invested in us and our story accelerated that blessing even more. We raised $38,000
crazy
for the adoption. We paid 10 ourselves, so it was $48,000 for the initial adoption. And so he's born. We're in the hospital with him, healthy delivery, everything. And the house that we're in now, we had about 25 people in this house while we were in the hospital.
Wow.
They were building our beds.
Yeah.
They hung floating shelves. Yeah. They put our TVs up.
And
the design. I mean, they were doing everything, getting this house ready. Like the power of the village and the community is so strong. And the thing that we didn't have when we first moved here was so strong in the right timing, in the right season. Yeah. So when we walked through the thresholds of our new house with our new baby, his crib was set up. The nursing area was set up. Everything was the whole house. We didn't have to do anything. That's how many people came and supported us in that journey. And so, yeah, man. So for 15 years, infertility, 6 months, accelerated blessing. And now he's 3 years old.
Yeah. What was that season of infertility like? How was that for you? As a man wanting kids, wanting to, be a father, desiring that, what were some of the things that you dealt with mentally and spiritually? And what are some of the things that helped you to navigate through that?
Yeah. So when you go through an infertility journey, there's always this, whose fault is it? Right?
Yeah.
It's not a blaming. It's more so, who do we need to give medical care to? Yeah. So that we can correct it. Yeah. We'll kind of find out it was me. I was the first one that we found out that it was me. And so in that hit, of course, your manhood. Of course, you're like, come on now.
Yeah, because you tried.
I'm out here trying hard. I'm out here trying hard. You mean to tell me that this is what you're doing, Lord? Right. Like, I'm out here trying to live up to your word. Be fruitful and multiply. Right. I'm trying to multiply. Yeah. This is what you done to me. And so that right there was tough to navigate through. Yeah. And then we realized there was things on my wife's side. And so both of us are like, okay, it's not about anything we did wrong. Now it's about our wiring. Now it's about the design of the Lord. Yeah. So we're like, okay, now the design of the Lord has come into place where you're like, why? Why would you do that to my body, to my wife's body? Why? And so we questioned whether or not that's, be fruitful and multiply was for us. We were like, well, be fruitful and multiply, accept the Clemens because of that. So it was this deep, we were not chosen for it. Yeah. Everybody else was chosen to be parents except us. Yeah. And so we were good enough to plant a church, and we was good enough to build the kingdom, and we were good enough to preach and to lead worship. But when it came to populating the earth, when it came to leaving a legacy through our children, we felt like we were not good enough for that. We were not good enough to be parents. Yeah. We wasn't chosen for that. So that created a lot of animosity in our spiritual relationship with the Lord. Wow. My faith was impacted during that time frame. My wife's anger with the Lord was real. Wow. Very real. Yeah. And so we
pastoring at this time and everything?
We were still pastoring, yeah. Wow. We were still pastoring at this time. And so we found resolve in the word of God. I cannot say that there was a prophet. I can't say there was an altar call. There was a sermon. There was a moment in church. None of that helped. What helped was going to the word. And we were it was another Christmas, no kids. And I vividly remember this. It was at our old house. I was in the kitchen. My wife was by the Christmas tree, and the whole house was just gloom. On one of the happiest days, it was just gloom.
Wow.
And we just felt like, should we even continue? You know, you can kind of feel it, like all the joy was sapped out.
Yeah.
Because it was just, this isn't fair.
Yeah.
Man, I'm in the kitchen, brother, and the Lord speaks to me, and he takes me back to Genesis. And we had just got through going through it. And he says, when I created Adam and Eve, they were a full family. Children didn't make them a family.
Wow.
What made them a family was my presence.
Wow.
That's what made them a family.
Wow.
He said, go tell your wife that you are a full family, and children doesn't make you a family. They add to your family.
Wow.
And I said that to my wife, and you can just feel, we both were in tears, but you can feel a relief.
Yeah.
You can feel the spirit lifting. And what we did was we said, okay, you know, it took us some days to really let that sit in. And we said, okay, if that's what it is, thank you for correcting the ungodly belief that we had, that we didn't even consider ourselves a family.
Wow. God.
For X amount of years, we didn't even think we were a family. We thought we were just married, waiting to be a family.
Yeah.
And the Lord uprooted that ungodly belief. And when I tell you, man, it was like we were able to just go and move. It was that was holding us back so much.
Yeah.
And the Lord just continued to reveal to us that I actually did choose you. I just didn't choose you for natural birth.
Yeah.
That's what you want, because that's what everybody else has told you, that is what produces families. But I'm about to show you that how I produce families. I produce families through adoption, because you was adopted into my family.
Yeah. Ooh, that's good.
And so that helped us so much.
Yeah.
And that's how we went through the journey of adoption with so much clarity. Yeah. And we tell that story right now.
Yeah.
Every day, because so many people need to hear that.
Yeah.
I think so many people who struggle with infertility, or they struggle with the lack of advancement of their family, they think that God has stopped them from having a family, and He hasn't. The moment you come in the covenantal marriage, you are a family.
Yeah.
If Jesus is in the middle, you're a family.
That's good. So speak to, like, guys, like you talked about, you know, your struggle, and you know, like, it was a problem with you. Speak to that for guys, like for a guy that's watching this and that's listening, and it's like, man, you speaking directly to me.
Yeah.
Like, encourage that.
I've never said that publicly.
Really?
I've never said that publicly.
OneFaith.
I've never said that publicly.
Wow.
The reason why I never said that publicly is because how embarrassing it can be. A lot of shame that comes with that.
Yeah.
The reason why I say it publicly now is because I know my manhood isn't tied to children that I can produce.
Come on.
My manhood is tied to my sonship, to Jesus Christ. And so me knowing who my Father is, me knowing that I'm a son of the living God, me knowing my rightful place in the kingdom of God has helped me to not worry about worldly manhood and what defines worldly manhood. And even in biblical times, men were defined by the families that they can build.
Yeah.
They were defined by how many wives they had, how many cattle they had, how many sons they can produce. They were defined by that. But a lot of times God didn't choose men based on worldly definitions.
Yeah.
He chose men based on their heart.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm able to say that now publicly, and to guys who feel like, man, this is embarrassing, this is shameful, this is not right, this isn't my wiring. I want them to know that if you believe with your whole heart that you are a son of God, then what you produce naturally doesn't define you.
Yeah.
What you produce spiritually is what defines you.
Yeah.
And so you could still produce spiritual sons.
Yeah.
And that's what I was doing. I didn't realize I still had spiritual sons. I had spiritual sons that I was producing. I had spiritual sons that I was pouring into. I had spiritual sons who were actually receiving from me as a spiritual father and didn't even realize it, that I was being a spiritual father for them. And so for me, if there was a guy out there that's like, you're speaking to me because this is my story, my question to you is that going to be the end of it?
That's good.
If that's going to be the end of it, then the enemy's won.
Yeah, 100%.
God wins when you say that's not the end of my story.
Yeah.
My legacy is not in, that's what the world tells us. Yeah. It's in the seed that we can produce naturally. No, it's in the seed you produce spiritually. Because even with these natural kids, they all not out here following the Lord.
That's right.
They all are not out here receiving from the Lord. You still got to produce more seeds.
Yeah.
The natural seed is not the last seed. For me, it wasn't the first seed, but for you, it's not the last seed. So if you produce naturally, that's not the last seed, brother. You got to throw some spiritual seeds out there. You got to plant some spiritual seeds. You got to begin to produce in the spirit. Because you can produce a boy and you can produce a man, but are you producing a man of God? Are you producing a man of God? And so that's what I would speak to men. You're not done. That's not it, brother.
And even if you're like, your calling isn't like in pastoring or anything like that, you can still make impact in this world. There's so many young guys. There's just a few, like the Lord really laid on my heart recently at our church, but like that I'm praying and believing God for, and some things. But it's like you can make an impact in those guys' lives in so many different areas and avenues. Like you don't have to pastor, you don't have to preach, but if you just show up and be consistent, like
go coach a football team,
go coach a basketball team, soccer, or something. I mean, do something to help keep these guys off the streets. I mean, I grew up, I had, mother and father. I love my dad to this day. He's still here with us, thank the Lord. And, we have a great relationship. But growing up, he worked a lot. So we didn't really see each other a lot. And so if it wasn't for, truthfully, growing up in the hood in Durham, but, somewhat hood, but not really all that hood. But but if it wasn't for my mom, like being intentional with surrounding me with other men, like the school that I went to, she was intentional about choosing those things because they had a male coach that coached PE, but at the same time, he was like pivotal, tall, strong, like really, he fresh out of the NFL. I to this day, I was like, I don't know why this guy was the PE coach because he put us through hell. We doing NFL workouts at 6th grade. Like, bro, what you doing? Shout out to Coach Ellis.
So funny.
But if it wasn't for him, honestly, I can pinpoint to several guys. Him, Coach Dale, Mr. Mitchell, like different ones who really spoke into my life when my dad was at work. And even though my dad was present, because I could always call and talk to him, but those men helped mold and shape me. Even like my pastor in my old church, like Bishop Wooden and different ones, they helped mold and shape me to be the man that I am today. I would not be the guy that I am today if it wasn't for God allowing those other men to pour into me. And if it wasn't for my dad being man enough, because let's be real,
1,000%.
One thing he did share with me was like, I did feel some type of way that all these other guys are like pouring into you, but then the Lord had to like arrest me and say, no, like it takes a village.
It does.
It takes a village to raise a child, and it really takes a village to raise a boy to a man. And when you are surrounded with good, godly positive male examples, it's like, I don't say the sky's the limit, but you are setting them on a better trajectory. You're setting them on a better path. And like while you were talking, I was just thinking, I know you probably heard Abraham, that story all the time. Like,
oh yeah.
With that. But it was like, but that's one thing that kept coming to mind and you hit it because even though through his one son, we actually had two, but through his one promised son, he became the father of many sons. But at the same time, it's like, but he became the father of many sons through the influence and the impact that he had by being God's chosen man at that time. He had only one promised son. Like now, Ishmael. But he went outside the will to get Ishmael.
Yeah, he did. He did.
But at the same time, it didn't stop God's promise. Like God promised you as a child, you have a child through through adoption. And it's not outside of his will that you have that, but the impact that you have in his life and the impact that you have in his children and their children, and how many children he might have, and just you're the South Campus pastor as well too. The amount of children, the amount of people that you see at your campus, they look up to you as a father, as a spiritual father, as a spiritual dad. In that way, it's like your impact, your reach is greater. It's not just confined to what you thought was the children that's in my household, the people that's right here. Because I'll be honest with you, I have 4 kids. My kids get my nerves sometimes.
They're not easy.
They're not easy.
It's not easy.
But I think the beautiful thing is that, just seeing how much life children bring to your life and to the household, but also, and you can attest to that because, with Elias running around.
Come on now.
So much life. But it's like when you can tell the difference when they're around and when they're not. Mm-hmm. And it just shows how much life that they bring into the home and everything like that. So this is really good. So we got deep. We got real deep.
I'll speak to that what you said too, because there's so much we idolize the family within the household that we don't realize that God's also trying to reach families outside of our household.
Yeah.
And so that's why I believe you can idolize your family. And you got to be able to submit your family to the Lord and what the Lord will is for your family. And so if your families, if God is calling your family to open up the doors for another child or to mentor, don't close the doors because they're not in your family. They are.
Right.
Because they're in God's family. Yeah. These are God's children. Yeah. You are God's children. Yeah. And so we have to learn how to start seeing each other as brothers and sisters in Christ. Yeah, 100%. We have to start seeing each other. And that's how the enemy is winning, because we're just strangers. Yep. But we're not. In the spirit, we are connected. We are brothers and sisters in Christ. And so that the Lord freed us through that because we were able to see that we were idolizing. We were idolizing the natural seed. Yeah. We was idolizing that. And that wasn't God's will for our life.
Yeah, and that could be so easy because it's like you see what other people have. And we don't like to covet, we don't like to say we jealous of those things.
Oh, but
you
bro, 100%. We look at the baby showers.
I want the baby shower meatballs and
we cut like crazy. We do. And we sit there and we sob and we cry and we blame God, and we'll show up to the baby shower feeling some type of way. Yeah. Still showing up, but feeling some type of way. Why me? Why not me? Yeah. Why you on your 4th one? And I know how ratchet you are. Bro, that's when you want to get real. That's when it gets real. Yeah. It gets real when you see God blessing people that you don't think deserve to be blessed.
God. Woo.
That will test your righteousness.
That will test your faith.
That will test your faith. And that will test your real love for people.
Yeah. God knows. God knows, because I'm pretty sure whoever watching this, got a couple people in your mind. I know they don't deserve this.
1,000%. And that's when you become judge. And then at that point, that's when you miss out on your own blessing. But these are actually sewn in.
They're sewn?
And hand cut themselves. That's why it took so long. It normally takes 6 weeks. It took in about 4 months. But that was because of the tariffs and all the things. So it finally came in. And so these are just a few of our crowns. One of the things I love about our crowns, and everybody loves it, is the inside detail. Yeah. And so we did not go cheap at all on the quality of these.
At all.
And this is the waiting room collection part of it. So this is that piece that everybody,
I got to add,
have always. It was a little tough to sell at first, but the moment Christmas came around, for some odd reason, everybody wanted it. And so
it looks comfortable.
It's very comfortable, and the stitching is incredible. So if you feel that, this is all patch embroidery.
Oh yeah.
So this is patch embroidery here. And this is actually stitched together.
Oh, wow.
Together.
Oh yeah, that's a labor of love right there.
Yeah. So this took about 12 weeks to make those. And then of course we have the No More Orphans. Everybody wants this in a hoodie, bro.
Yeah, I need that in a hoodie.
This is in a hoodie. So we're going to be producing that. This is that pine green emerald, sold out. That's sold out. This was our caramel cream, sold out. So everybody loved this one. This was a part of the waiting room collection. Our first polo. And this is knitted too.
Yep.
So you can see that one is knitted as well. That's the waiting well on the back. This one's coming out. We're going to drop this one with our the pop-up that we're doing.
I like that.
This is a jersey.
I like the colors. Yeah.
So it's a soccer jersey, and what I love about it is this is patch. So, and it has our story of waiting right on the front. So different color for us. We tried it, but it has our brown and our white in it, which we love. So, and then this one right here. This is our Philly tee. This was me just shooting, man, just like shooting my shot and see what I can produce. Yeah. And it came out pretty good.
Yeah. For the folks in Philly.
So this is what we're building now. So,
yeah.
Which is kind of crazy. So it's going beyond just t-shirts.
Yeah. Oh, this is nice.
All right. So it's pretty cool. What we've been able to produce, dude.
Yeah.
Did you see this one, Cam?
Sure.
That's a 23 on the back. And the 23 is Elias Jordan's birth year. So that was the year our number was called in the miracle department. So we put that 23 on the back of all of these.
That was for Jordan.
His middle name is Jordan too. So it works.
It works, right? let's pivot and shift to Chozen. So how did the Chozen brand come about? You kind of alluded to it a little bit earlier, but how did you arrive at or come to the idea that, let's create apparel for this unique group of people, of individuals?
I really believe this, man. The Lord, He puts the right gifts inside of you before you even know what they will be used for. And so I started in graphic design at Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church.
Okay.
In college, before Bible-based, before Derek McGee, Tabernacle Missionary Baptist Church. And I had the honor and privilege to do the announcements. Come on now, that's big.
That is big.
I had the privilege to do the announcements, but I didn't have the skill set to do the announcements. So I had to learn on PowerPoint. You remember PowerPoint?
Yeah,
I had to learn graphic designing on PowerPoint with clip art. And at that point, it was basic. It was basic.
It was not.
But then they got the upgrade, and then when the upgrade came, they added some more elements to it, and then you can actually do some designing stuff. When I tell you, I had become proficient, expert in PowerPoint graphic designing, that you could not tell that it was not Photoshop. That's how good I became.
That's really good.
So within ministry, I'm growing in design. From Miami, I have this affinity for fashion. And so I've always loved fashion and clothes and creativity. And so from there, I've always wanted to do something big with it.
Yeah.
So I just continue to do graphics designing for free and things of that nature. I've done logos and all this other stuff. And I'm not like a basic designer. Like I can do brands, right? There's levels to this, right? And so I can produce brands and create seamless brands across the board.
Yeah.
And I've done that before behind the scenes, but I've always had that. So when we had our baby boy Elias Jordan, the cost of it, the cost of the adoption was so much. I told you it was $48,000. That's just for the agency. But then we got into a legal battle. That was another $45,000.
Wow.
So this is an $85,000 journey. The amount of financial pressure that's on you when you should also be enjoying that fresh season of parenting was too much.
Yeah.
It's still a lot. So I said, Lord, this isn't right, right? Like, I don't believe you created that system to be that way. And so what can I do to help bring relief to other people?
Yeah.
And so that's when we created Chozen Supply. And so Chozen Supply was a clothing brand from our own story.
Yeah.
Because in the process of our infertility journey, we felt like we were overlooked. We felt like God didn't handpick us. And everything about Chozen Supply is rejecting that lie and saying, no, you were chosen. You were just chosen for a bigger story that you didn't write.
Yeah.
You didn't write the story. So it's not going to be your way. It's not going to be how you process it. It's not going to be the path you want to choose. But that doesn't mean you're not chosen.
Right.
So Chozen Supply was birthed out of our entire journey, that you are chosen by God for something greater than you ever could imagine. You just got to say yes to his calling.
Yeah.
And so from there, we started to add elements to it by having handpicked on all of our pieces. We started adding other elements like overlook, never overlook, right? So you're never overlooked, you're handpicked. And we just started to sew this story into every piece. And then so from there, again, I created all the design. I got some coaching from my guys at Entre Believer. And he was with us for a year. He was our coach and he helped us a lot and so much. And from there, man, we were able to really produce a quality brand.
Yeah.
But I had already had all the skill set from ministry.
Yeah.
So I designed everything.
Yeah.
I designed it all. And then from there, we put it out. And you was there when we launched it. I mean, it blew up.
Yeah.
We ended up, the moment we launched in 2024, we sold out in 4 weeks.
Yeah. Wow.
And we ended up getting invited to a Ty Tribbett concert.
Dope. Yeah.
And we sold out more, the most we've ever made there. And then from there, we started running ads, and then we hit about 25 states. And so it's been going ever since. We're on our 4th collection now.
Yeah.
From Chozen Supply, and it's not even been 2 years.
Wow. So what have been some of the ups and downs
of
this journey with Chozen?
And the manufacturing journey.
Yeah.
You know, the manufacturing journey has been a challenge. We are producing quality pieces that, for us, we don't want to just be T-shirts and hoodies. We know that's how you start, but we don't want to end there. I really want a store one day. I really want this to be a staple in everyone's closet. And so for us, the challenge has been continuing to produce consistently quality, because quality costs and quality requires pay. So what we said was, if you're going to buy into this journey with us and buy into this story of being chosen by God, then let's produce something on the end of it. So every piece that is purchased, a portion is going to go back to adoption. So one day, say in 5 years, because that's what it takes really for a small company to launch, or say 3 years to really take off, we'll be able to write a check one day for $50,000. The financial pressure we had, let's not let another family have that.
Yeah, that's good.
And so if many of us can just grab these pieces and take these pieces and really believe in it and spread the word about it, man, we can write checks for families.
Yeah.
We can bring kids home. They can have safe homes. Yeah. You know, through that journey.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I know the adoption, journey is very costly. And there's a lot of kids out here in the system who are wanting to be adopted, but because of those barriers, I like that you're figuring out ways to help alleviate those costs, but also kind of bridge those barriers so that more kids can find safe homes. I think that a lot of reasons why people, haven't journeyed into adoption is because they can't afford it. So
come on. I have a dream I haven't shared with anybody. This is the second thing that I've not shared on OneFaith that I haven't shared with anybody.
Look at us.
Fostering is also a big part of the adoption journey. A lot of kids in foster care don't go on to be adopted. What I want to do one day is I want to be able to partner with a foster care agency, and every child that either gets adopted or gets long-term placement, I would love for them to walk into their new room and the closet is filled with Chozen Supply.
Oh, wow.
and they'll have something for almost every collection.
Yeah.
And because a lot of times they're coming to these spots with just a black bag, you know, trash bag full of their clothes.
Yeah.
And I think it would be so important for a child in foster care or a child that has been newly adopted, a teenager. Think about a teenager, right? 14-year-old girl, 13-year-old boy, to open up his closet for the first time and to see that God has thought so much about you, that you're not rejected, you're not overlooked, you're handpicked. Season may be hard, it might be tough, but God is with you. You are chosen by God, and you'll get through this, and God is going to provide you with the right family. Imagine that. Imagine that. And I want to be able to just do it for free. I want to be able to do that. Maybe call, a vision where we just fill the closet. Just fill their closet. Just fill their closet with Chozen supply.
I love that.
Different pieces and everything. Everything that we produce, we'll be able to just give it to these kids for free. That would be a blessing.
That would be a blessing.
That'd be huge.
That's love. That's love, right?
That's
there.
love.
Yeah.
I haven't shared it because, people like to take dreams. So.
Right.
But not this community. Not this community. No, we support it.
We support. We don't steal nothing. But we Christians. We supposed to be Christians. You don't steal nothing. But Christians.
But that's a huge, huge goal.
Yeah.
Not only a $50,000 check, but to have an initiative where we can fill closets for kids in foster care.
I like that. I think that is both amazing dreams, because it's like killing two birds with one stone, but at the same time, it's like the Lord is giving you immense vision for what He's already given you, the vision that He's giving you, like adding more to that vision. Because, and I think like once, and this is for anyone, like once you get started with doing the thing that God has called you to do, it's like God always downloads and gives you more and more. And I think that it's amazing that you're being obedient to God through this avenue, but also you're being obedient to God as He pours more vision and more things to you, because it just means that He trusts you,
right?
Because you're stewarding the thing well, so He's going to give you more to do. And so I think that that is amazing. I think that what you're doing is so top tier. Like the quality is fire. Like you see the
top
hat,
tier.
the shirt,
top
the
tier.
hoodies, and all this stuff. I brought my hoodie. I was going to wear it, but then we got recording all this stuff. But
I'm brag on it. It's top tier. That's the goal.
Top quality.
It's to be high quality. It's $1 million brand.
It is.
One day it's going to be $1 million brand.
It is.
And you got to believe that.
You
can't just start something and don't believe it's not going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
Like it is $1 million brand.
Yeah.
So it's going to be easy for us one day to write those checks. It's going to be easy for us one day to fill those closets because of the quality and the intention that we're putting in the stitching, in the manufacturing, in the logo and design, like sticking with certain colors, things of that nature, not, being so true to our brand.
Yeah.
And so we just really believe that.
Yeah. So you choose all the colors, all the season, everything. How do you come up with the different designs for each season? Like, is it based on certain things that you're dealing with during this journey with Elias, or is it like the Lord inspiring you in different things as well? And this
is all connected to our story towards adoption. So we started with our first collection called the Story Collection. So that was the inaugural collection. That was just the launching of this idea of being chosen by God. It was birthed out of that whole season of just realizing that, no, you are a full family. Children add to your family. That's our story. So that's what we started with the Story Collection. The top tier pieces, our mocha latte hoodie came out of that. Our mocha latte crowns. We don't call them hats. We call them crowns. Because when you're chosen by God, you're also chosen by a king. And so therefore, when you put a hat on your head, it's a crown. And so for us, that started it. And then we went to the Emerald Eden collection, and that was about in the Garden of Eden, right, where He had the inaugural family in that garden. And so that told the story of that moment when I told you about my wife at the Christmas tree, and God told us that you're a full family. And so we brought that to life with that pine green and cream, and it was beautiful, very earthy. And then the next collection after that was the Waiting Room, because it had been 15 years. So on the Waiting Room collection, it was letting people know you need to learn how to wait well, because you're not just in a waiting room, you're in the miracle department. And God's going to call your number in the miracle department. And if you prematurely leave, you're going to prematurely give up the miracle. And so that was a great collection. But that collection also was like us shooting our shot. I really wanted to see what we could design and what we could produce. So that collection didn't sell as well as the other two. So we're going to get back to some of the original things, but it actually blew up Christmas.
Wow.
And so, they
tis the season, right?
Tis the season. They took it all at Christmas. It took about 4 months, but they took it all.
Right, they got it.
All. They got it.
Yeah.
So, but it's been a great journey. So that's how we picked the collection. The collection is based on our story. And so the next collection is the legacy collection. That collection is going to be focused on what I just told you is not the seed that you produce naturally. It's the seed that you produce spiritually.
Yeah.
Because you can have children, but that don't mean you're leaving a legacy.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And so we really want to inspire people to leave a legacy. And so we're going to, our son is our legacy. It's the start of it, not the ending of it. And so it's been a good journey. So that's how we pick our collections.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. All right. So I had something else I want to ask you, and I'm forgetting because I know we got church in the morning, and you got to pull that trailer.
Yeah, I got to go get the U-Haul now.
Darn, I can't think of anything else. Terrence, we good? Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. You need
to going.
You need
to
realize.
going.
Right. You need to realize.
That's some great content in there, though.
It's a lot of good content, a lot of good stuff. All right, so yeah, we can cap it here then. I had a question.
Awesome.
Now it's back. We can cap it after this.
Okay.
How involved is your wife in the entire thing with Chozen as far as like the designs and coming up with the colorways and stuff like that?
She's my beautiful model. She's the model. She also helps with the testing of the products. And so she sees every design before everybody else. And so she helps me pick out certain colors and things of that nature. But she loves everything that we've been able to produce. She also is part of the shipping process. And so she ships orders. She helps us stay organized on that end. She does better inventory control than I can because when we get a ton of inventory in, I got to update it. And so she's like running Shopify, all the things. So yeah, she loves the behind the scenes things. It really takes both of us.
That's good. That's good.
It really does.
If for anyone who's interested in like starting, a business or starting something like that, how would you encourage them? And you can, also leave off any encouraging message, with the audience. Close this thing out.
So the first thing I would do if you want to start a business, first of all, just do it. Man, so many people are just starting. That's the hard part. The hard part is starting. The hard part is not sustaining. I think the hard part is starting. It's just getting through that initial feeling of, whether or not this is going to work or wanting it to be perfect. Chozen wasn't perfect when we started. We just started.
Yeah.
We had a lot of things in place, but it wasn't perfect. We didn't have systems in place. There was things that I just didn't know, still don't know, still learning, but we're just starting.
Yeah.
Right. We'll figure it out on the way. We serve an on the way God. Yeah. Right. You walk in obedience. I'll send you strength on the way.
Yeah.
I'll send you clarity on the way. 100%. I'll send you friends on the way.
Right.
You just got to go.
Just got to do it.
I just encourage just to do it, man. Just do it. And you don't realize that what you have, if it's ordained by God, if it really solves problems, that to solutions to people's problems, it's going to take off.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's going to take off.
Yeah.
And so my message to OneFaith, man, that's a big one. I've really been studying Genesis hard again, top of the year. And I think it's important that we really understand what God did through Moses and what God did through Jesus, and realize that both of them are so connected. And a lot of times we don't realize how God uses people to free other people.
Yeah.
We don't realize how so many people's freedom is attached to our obedience.
Yeah.
The freedom for the Egyptians was attached to Moses' obedience.
Wow.
The freedom for humanity was attached to Jesus' obedience.
Yeah.
I've really been living in this, is that my yes breaks chains, opens prison doors, open blinded eyes, allow space for addictions to be healed and released. And when I say no, people stay in that longer until somebody else say yes.
That's good.
I just don't want to be the reason why someone is still in a spiritual prison when God has given me the key to unlock the door. So I've really been sitting on that. It's like, it's not just about platform ministry. It's not just about big auditoriums or big arenas, or it's not just about followers. It's not just about, it's about freedom.
Yeah.
The reason why the guy in Germany downloading OneFaith every time you upload it, because you're setting him free. There's something that's setting him free. So your yes and your obedience isn't just tied to the building of the kingdom in size, but the building of the sons within the kingdom. Yeah. Because the kingdom got to be populated.
It's got to be populated.
Got to be populated. So OneFaith family, I will just really encourage you, man. That's the power of your obedience. When you say no, people stay in bondage longer.
God. Woo. Woo. God. That's good. That's good. It's you confirming a lot of stuff. It's funny because I had I'll share this and then we gonna really leave after this.
We really gonna go.
We got two pastors on here talking.
We really gonna go.
Pastor Evette gonna be like, she'll be testing my wife. Your husband's still here talking.
Girl, come get him.
Tell him he got to go home. I need my head. But I'll say this, like we the word that the Lord gave me for our prayer team is another yes. And it just spoke, you just spoke to that. Like when we give God our yes, he gives us his yes. Yeah. And just like how we give God a yes to more or to whatever he told us to do, you don't know what it's unlocking. Yeah. What your yes and God's yes, what that unlocks. Because like thinking back to like I was looking at the story with Peter, how he rejected, denied God 3 times, and then Jesus restored him 3 times. And each time he told God yes, gave God another yes. Yeah. Jesus gave him another assignment. Feed my sheep, tend my sheep, do this, like take care of the least of these. So it's like when we give God a yes, he gives us another yes, another assignment, another things and more things to do. So when you feel that you can't, like you said, when you give God or no, or you shut down or say no to God, you don't know what yes you're blocking or what door that you're blocking or what thing that you are withholding from other people. And so if you're encouraged by this, like listen, go buy his stuff, all his Chozen brand information, everything, apparel. But also like, if you're inspired, get started. Get started doing whatever God has called you to do. Don't be afraid. I say do it afraid anyway. People don't like that phrase. I don't know why. It's weird, but do it afraid anyway. Like because when you get started, when you tell God yes, you don't know what your yes is tied to and what he's going to do for you. So, bro, I appreciate you. I love you. I'm gonna get your wife and my wife to do another episode.
Ooh, that'd be great.
That will be.
You get those two, and my wife got a lot to say.